Okay, we should be going live now. So this is Uncommon Quote of the Day, and this is Mike Conn. And so the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, made a few comments today. And among them was, he said that we need to start growing the economy faster than we're growing the debt. And so Danielle DiMartino Booth, if you don't know her, she wrote the best-selling book, Fed Up, which is by far, it's probably the best book on the Federal Reserve that has been written since, I would say, Creature from Jekyll Island, which is a big compliment because that was a great book, and anybody who cares about the Federal Reserve, reads that book. Okay, so Danielle DiMartino Booth, she said, "Can I get an amen?" when it came to Powell's comments, and so I responded to that. I said, we need to slash government spending and regulations and keep cutting taxes to make room for private sector growth. Our current plan of borrowing and spending instead and stealing from my boys' future to pay for goodies today. Okay, our current plan of borrowing and spending is stealing from my boys' future to pay for goodies today. So this is the problem that I see over and over again when it comes to let me click on this. Okay. So when it comes to people that say they want to cut the deficit and say they want to balance the budget, what ends up happening is exactly what this guy, so this dude responded to my comment. Let me get his name right, because this is the comment that Danielle DiMartino Booth ended up liking. It was the response to my tweet. So let's see. I got his tweet right here. Let me see. Can you see it? No, you can't. I'm going to get it. There you go. So now you can see it. It's like Brycentennial Man or something like that. I don't know. You can see it. It's Be Rich Life is his Twitter handle. And he says, cut government spending and taxes in the right places. And my problem with that sounds nice, but the problem with that is people that say we should cut government spending in the right places, they just end up not cutting it. Or they end up cutting it so minutely. To be honest, they haven't cut government spending since I've been born. Since I've been born, there has never been an actual cut in government spending. We have never actually spent less in the present year than we spent in the former year. Okay, so this is quote of the day, so let's just keep kind of going through these quotes because it's a Twitter battle, and Twitter battles are fun. I mean, it was all in good fun. It was a pretty cordial little discussion back and forth. And so here was my comment and response, right? Because we just had an increase, for those of you who didn't know. I mean, there's a lot of Trump followers out there. My dad, he was a big Trump voter. He was a Trump supporter. I, not so much. I liked the Aleppo guy, Gary Johnson, who's kind of weak-kneed, but he was like the least of the evils out there. All right, so Trump increased spending by $1 trillion, or at least he had $1 trillion deficit this last year. And the Republicans in Congress were all for it. And the Democrats, they're not for cutting spending either. I mean, this was a bipartisan effort, okay? Let's make no mistake about it. Let's not just try to blame one party. This is a two-party debacle that's going on in Washington, D.C. today. So my response was, what are the right places to cut? I just said, what are the right places? I look at the budget, and I see Social Security, and you can see this little pie chart right here, right? So if you zoom in on your screen or something, you can probably see it. Maybe I can zoom in. Let's see if I can do it. No, it won't let me do it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm zooming in a little bit. What are the right places? I look at the budget, and I see Social Security is 24%. Medicare is 15%. Medicaid is 11%. Income security, whatever the hell that means. I guess that's food stamps and whatever, housing assistance and WIC and all this kind of crap. Wonderful charities. That's what they are. They're wonderful, compassionate charities. That's a total of 57% of the budget that is unconstitutional. It needs to all go away as soon as possible. Government and charity do not mix. So and then you can see the chart right there, and it just shows it all. It's easy to find this chart. It's all over the internet. You just type in, government outlays for a year and, what the categories are. And so here's kind of this corporate tax thing. Who cares about that guy? Yeah, that was a really silly comment that dude made. Okay, so wow, so this is a response from another guy, Gabriel. I can't read that guy's last name. It's like Sale M Witchfinder at Sale of whatever. You can see it if you want to zoom in and find it. Whatever. So anyway, this dude says Wow, such an objective and neutral case for doing whatever helps people like you, whatever people like me means, and inflicts all the pain on people you give not one fig about. What a brilliant mind. Thank you for condescending to share your amazing insight with the rest of us. So, obviously he's giving me a hard time. So that's fine, whatever. And so then I replied to that. Well, it doesn't even show my reply. I don't know why it doesn't show my reply. I had a pretty cheeky comeback to that, but for whatever reason it doesn't want to show it. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, so are you saying that people in need should be helped? I agree. You should help them. I will not stop you. And there's a couple more replies down here. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm saying pay for cops to protect your... I'm saying I pay for cops. This is the Gabrielle Ciola sales whatever person. So he says, it's like John Ryan. He's got his Twitter picture. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's like a congressional thing. I'm saying I pay for cops to protect your house from being burglarized and your cars from being stolen. So if you have a problem paying for a poor child getting eyeglasses, give me my tax money back too, and protect yourself from crime all along with your own two fists. So, okay, that sounds great. So I basically replied. I said, the protection of property is constitutional. The redistribution of my wealth is theft. Love and force do not mix. If you wish to help poor children, I recommend you give a portion of your wealth to worldvision.org. I will not force you. This is just a recommendation. So obviously the point is he wants to sort of threaten the force of violence against me, but at the same time he basically wants to say that, see, this is the thing, you conflate the legitimate government function, which is in the Constitution, of protecting people's property and protecting people's lives, right? So you're talking about someone inflicting harm on me. Like, I have a right not to be hurt, but you don't have a right, fundamental human right, to take my stuff and give it to other people. You have a right to ask me to give to charity, but you do not have the right to force me. So Danielle DiMartino Booth came in at some point, and she says, and I think she's trying to kind of mediate and be the nice person in between, which is cool. Danielle DiMartino Booth is a really cool woman. She's really sharp, wicked smart. Her book is great. You should really read it. It's Fed Up. And she was, by the way, she was one of the senior advisors to I believe it was the Dallas Federal Reserve chairman, or the Federal Reserve governor. And so she's really sharp. And she was a trusted advisor of that governor, and she should be one of your trusted advisors. You should follow her on Twitter and check out her book. Okay, to be fair, all of our children and grandchildren will pay the price for our government profligacy. Now, my response to that is, unless it gets so bad that we move, I have no intention of making my kids pay for my parents' profligacy. Our family intends to vote with our feet as soon as humanly possible. Roger Ver has the right idea. And Roger Ver, by the way, is a dude I think I talked about on my last Vote With Your Feet, or my last, what the hell is my channel's name? I don't even know. I've only been doing it for like 3 or 4 days. It's Quote of the Day. On my last Quote of the Day, I talked about Roger Ver and how, Ver I think is the way you say his name, he's actually literally looking into getting together with a couple of fellow billionaires and purchasing a chunk of land, maybe on an island, maybe on mainland in like Africa or something or wherever, and literally making it like a freedom zone. And that's what I'm talking about when I say vote with your feet. Like, if these governments continue to, tax us and continue to steal from us through, printing of fiat currency, then there's going to come a point when people that are the most productive are going to start finding ways to leave. We're going to start finding ways to get out of here so that we don't have to worry about having our wealth stolen from us, because it's getting ridiculous, right? Like, we shouldn't have to be forced to pay, 35, 40, 50% of our income to programs that we don't agree with. That's theft. It's wrong. And you know what? those of us that are productive aren't going to put up with it anymore. We're going to go galt. By the way, you should read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, and you'll have a better idea what the hell I'm talking about. When I say go galt, it means get out of here. Like, leave the government that is trying to expropriate your wealth. So that's the quote of the day for today. Danielle DiMartino Booth and Federal Reserve Chairman guy Jerome Powell. And check me out on To Uncommon on Twitter if you want to see all this stuff firsthand. And if you want to tweet me, let me know what you think. And that's it. I don't have a cool, quippy tagline yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with one at some point.